the Rwandan High Commission here in South Africa is currently hosting the 30th commemoration since the genocide in Rwanda. Now, the day is used to honor thousands of Tutsis that died during the mass killings and to celebrate Rwanda's economic recovery since that genocide. SABC News reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is at the event in Pretoria and joins us now. Khayelihle, very good afternoon to you. Talk to us about the significance of hosting this commemoration out in Pretoria today and who will be attending. I mean, we just saw this past week, of course, Rwanda was commemorating this day in which we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa there in Rwanda vowing to better relations between the two nations.
Well, certainly, Alicia, quite a very poignant moment for Rwanda and the international community at large. It's all about reflecting on those atrocities that occurred in 1994, but also the journey of a country that is really known as a land of thousand hills, looking at the achievements that they've been able to achieve over the years and also the journey to recovery, but also something that is quite important during those commemorative events during this past weekend. We saw the Rwandan President Kagame really talking about the significance of unity and accountability, saying that what happened in Rwanda should serve as a warning, not just for the country itself, but for the world to prevent future atrocities. But joining us now is the Rwandan High Commissioner here in South Africa. This, of course, Mr. Emmanuel Hategeka. Thank you so much indeed, High Commissioner, for your time. So, a very important moment for Rwanda and the world at large in terms of reflecting on those events from 1994, 30 years down the line.
Thank you, Kaya, for having me. It's indeed a moment when we come together to commemorate for the 30th time the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. And of course, when we gather here to commemorate, we recall, of course, with sorrow, the more than 1 million lives that we lost in a span of just 100 days. And we also honor the survivors who have shown a great level of resilience to go over that past and actually move towards forgiveness and reconciliation in the country. We don't stop there. We also take time to pay tribute to the brave young men and women who actually stopped the genocide. And that was the Rwanda Patriotic Front forces that were led by actually the current president, President Kagame. So it's a somber moment. It's a time when we reflect, but it's also a time to renew our commitment and to every other person to say, look, what happened in Rwanda 30 years ago should never happen anywhere in the world. We should live in a world where everybody lives in a safe environment, where every life matters, where all forms of hate, divisionism, extremism are not given a chance. And that is why we do this, gather here with the rest of the world to commemorate and share some lessons and educate the young generation, the future generation who hold their future in their hand.
And High Commissioner, we saw you handing over your letter of credence to South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. A very monumental task for you in terms of making sure that you rekindle the bond between Pretoria and Kigali. Surely that's a very colossal task ahead.
Absolutely. And the good thing is both leaders were conscious of the need to really revive our relationship, which is a very historical relationship. And as you know, Kaya, South Africa was actually one of the countries that came to the rescue of Rwanda in 1994. Of course, South Africa was also trying to, commence their new democracy, to get over with the apartheid regime. But at the same time, it's the first country that came to support the recovery of Rwanda in the areas of health, in the areas of education, and we never forget that. So those historical bonds of friendship have really led our relations, and we think we can do more together. So as I commence my tour of duty, I want to have a moment of learning, try and get to see the possibilities that exist, to build our relationship in a number of fields that are mutually beneficial to our people, and indeed there are many.
And just before I let you go, High Commissioner, lessons for so many African countries. I mean, the Rwandan economic miracle, so to speak, it's incredible. So there are plenty of lessons for a number of countries in sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, the issue of fighting against poverty, job creation, those are very key areas where we've seen strides being made in Kigali.
Yes, indeed, but we don't actually say we give lessons. We actually share experiences as African countries, because we believe every country can find within itself, within the DNA of that particular country, they can find solutions to their own problems, to the challenges facing their societies. So we don't come with lessons, but we come with experiences to share. It's been a tough journey. I mean, rising from ashes to a thriving nation that is peaceful, that is fastest growing, is not an easy task. But again, there are some fundamentals that have to be in place. Security and stability is paramount for anything to take off. So if you don't build on a foundation of safety, of security of everybody and their property, then other things don't come into play. Good governance, good leadership, making sure that you build an inclusive agenda for the society, having a social contract with your people to understand that they have something in for them, there's something in for everybody, and it's their own responsibility to take the country forward. So ownership is key, accountability to each other is key, and of course, above all, we try to ensure that we build good partnerships. So without partnerships, without foreign support and investors, friends, we couldn't reach where we are. But I think all that can be summarized in a journey of good leadership that has a vision for the society and actually executes that vision for the benefit of everyone.
All right. High Commissioner, thank you so much indeed for your time. So, Alicia, that's the Rwandan High Commissioner here in South Africa, but also it's quite a very pivotal moment. It's all about making sure that there is unification, but also renewing as well. But also, most importantly, we're expecting quite a number of guests to descend here in Pretoria to reflect, but also looking at some of the lessons, especially because it was a very atrocious time in Rwanda. With that, back to you in studio.
Khayelihle Khumalo live to us from Pretoria, where the Rwandan High Commission here in South Africa is hosting the 30th commemoration since the genocide in Rwanda, and that particular event starts at 4 p.m.